Audio. Okay. Shalom Aleichem, Eli. I hope we're going to have a nice oilum tonight. I hear there's a special yard site. Yeshakayach, Yeshakayach. Yeshakayach for setting up. We're learning the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch tonight. So if the oilum could open up, the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch Siman Lamed. And see Yeshakayach for joining us. Eli Yeshakayach for bringing the beautiful Sforim. Yes, you got it. Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch Siman Lamed. Zemanei Tefillin. We're very into the Zmanim these days. Oh, the Setzach, Benche. You can hear me?
Gonna be now?
Can you hear
You
us
can
now?
hear me?
Oh.
Yes, we can hear you.
When
Can
is
you
the
hear
result?
us?
Okay.
When is the
Okay, good. Let's start. Okay. Hayom Kotzav HaMalachim Merubah. I was just in Shenandoah National Park. So it's funny. When kids are asking me, we took a hike, a 2-hour hike, and it's a little bit tough terrain. And there's like a ledge built with rocks and cement. Who built it? Like such hard work has gone in to build this beautiful trail. So I said, I don't know, but I know in the 1930s, America was in a depression, and the only millions of people didn't have a job. So how do you get the people out of a depression? So there was the CCC Corporation, which basically the United States of America prints dollars anyway, so it's not a big deal. And they printed extra dollars and they paid people. They didn't pay them a lot. They paid them like $1 a week, and they had millions of people working, just work. And they built roads and they paved. They made national parks, and they just they kept people busy. So and that really helped America get out of the depression. And the bottom line is, when the depression was over, there were beautiful parks, there were museums, there was unbelievable infrastructure. But the funny thing is, when we came out, the kid said, "How do you know that, Tati?" I said, "I don't know." But when we came out of the trail, there was a big sign saying, "Yes, this trail was built in 1930 by the CCC Corporation." So the lesson of Avodas Hashem is Omal Adam LaOmal Yula. The person, the Ikar Inyan, the thing that makes a person the most in depression is when a person is not working. When a person is relaxing in Avodas Hashem, he's depressed. When a person is getting up 5:30 in the morning, Hes Chaim Tzvi, and he learns Chitas and Rambam, and he davens, and he learns, and he's working, he feels like a mensch, because what makes a person feel good? When a person accomplishes in Avodas Hashem. When you accomplish in Avodas Hashem, you feel good. That's what makes you feel good. Adam LaOmal Yulad. So really it says connected to what we want to learn tonight, which is we're still doing in the Sugya of Zman. So what's that have to do with the Sugya of Zmanim? Thank you for joining us, Steve. By the way, do we already have a minyan in shul? When you raise your fingers, Eli, tell me how many people do we have? 6. Okay. When we get to 10, Ellie, do me a favor and go like this. I know we have 10. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, very good. So what I was saying is that we're learning now all about Zmanim. What's the whole thing about Zmanim? We were talking about this the other day. You know, there's when the Rebbe had the heart attack in Tav Shalom at Ches, right after the heart attack, the Rebbe wanted to say a maimer. One of the first Maimarim, the Rebbe was in his bed and he said, was Vavrom Zokim Baba Yom. There's a Torah from the Baal Shem Tov that Lo Yanich Yom Asiyas Mitzvah. So the Rebbe asks in the maimer, what's the big deal? Obviously, you're Lo Yanich Yom Asiyas Mitzvah. Every day you have to do mitzvahs. What else do you think you do? So the Rebbe said, the answer is Azay. If a person say, I could do 10 mitzvahs, I could do Sunday, I could be up for 22 hours straight and do 10 mitzvahs. But Monday I'm going to crash. I'll do 0 mitzvahs. I'll be in bed. So there's no. Lo yaniach yom asiyas mitzvah. Do 5 mitzvahs on Sunday and 5 mitzvahs on Monday. Why? Why? Why can't we do all 10 on Sunday and get it over with? Because Kedusha has to penetrate in every Mokim and every Zman. Zman plus Mokim equals Olam Haza. What makes this world a world? This finite world is Zman plus Mokim equals Olam Haza. We have to bring Kedusha in every Mokim, we have to bring Kedusha into every Zman. Therefore it says, by Avram Avinu, Avram Zokim, Baba Yomim, B'Yomim Shleimin. There wasn't one day that he missed out. The Yid has to bring Kedusha into every Zman. And therefore, we said the other night, but last week, I was saying that we just finished, by the way, we just finished Rambam, Sefer Beis Abachida, and we're starting now Sefer Karbonos. So the Rambam says that Aroil is born with Mishpat HaTorah. It's a revolutionary thing. The Rambam says, that every mitzvah that you can find a rationale for the mitzvah and you can learn a lesson, Avodas Hashem, you're supposed to do that. And I think in this we find that if the Kohen's machshava was about the korban Eli here, and that the korban is going to be in the wrong mokum. It's a kotche kalam, and he's going to eat it outside Yerushalayim. So the korban is puzzle. It's a person's not allowed to eat it, but it's puzzle. But it's not pigul. But if a person thinks he's gonna do it in the wrong zman, he's gonna eat the korban in the wrong zman, so then it's pigul. If a person later eats this korban, it's chayav koros. We said why? Because mokim, you can always go back to the other mokim that you were there and you were supposed to bring kedusha. Wherever he did this, that mokim is meant to bring kedusha. If he went to that place and he didn't bring kedusha, he can go back to the place. But zman, the world is moving. You can never bring back yesterday. Yesterday, you can never bring it back. It's impossible to bring it back. That's why Chazal says, "Muvas lo yufas liskan." Chazal says 2 things. One is if he had a mamzer, and the other one if he missed krishma. Whoa! I mean, it's a big difference. He might as well have had a mamzer. It sounds like the 2 things are the same. I mean, it's a very big difference, the Aveda of sleeping in and missing krishma shel shachar and having a mamzer. No. But the bottom line is that they're both the same thing because it's an opportunity that was missed. He could, from the rest of his life, he could say, but this Krishma, he missed out on that Zman. So now we're learning about the union of Zmanim. So we're going ahead. Last week we learned Siman Yud Ches, which is the Zmanim of Tzitzis, and now we're going to learn Siman Lamed, which is the Zmanim of Tefillin. And Mitzvah Shem next week we're going to finish off the Zmanim of Krishma, and then we'll do the Zmanim of Tefillah. Okay. Laila is similar. Laila Zman Tefillin min HaTorah. Shenema v'shmarta zachuk at this lamed mimim shishmam yomim v'lo leilas. Einer kosa medava b'chukas HaTefillin. Ela b'chukas HaPesach. Shenema l'mayla v'vat avoda azois. Aval chachomim osur laniach Tefillin b'layla. We pass and they're really min HaTorah Laila Zman Tefillin. And it says about film Yomim Yamima, which is mashma by day, not by night. We say that the Yomim Yamima is not talking about film, talking about Pesach. Chacham said we don't want you to wear tefillin by night. Nature's man sheina. It's a time of a sleepy time. It's forbidden to sleep in tefillin, as we spoke about in Simon Dalet. We'll talk about Simon Dalet. Even in the morning after it was Amod HaShachar, Shuhu Yoyim L'chol Mitzvah Mur B'Torah, which is day for all the mitzvahs. Also Lanichon, you're not allowed to put on tefillin. Ad Shegia Eis Kima Mishina L'Rei Bnei Adam. Even though after Amud HaShachar it's considered day for all the mitzvahs, Chazal said we want to wait till it's not a sleepy time, until Roi Bnei Adam already were out of bed. That there's so much light in the day that he could see his friend Dal Damas away and he know who he is. There's enough light. So bottom line is, Mina Torah, tefillin is 24. It's not Shabbos, but 24/6, because Shabbos itself is an ice. But Chacham said we don't want you to wear it at night, and in the morning we want you to wait until most people are already out of bed. When are most people out of bed? Mishayakir. In the calendars that we have, if you look at Chabad.org, if you have the Hebrew dates or whatever it is, Zmanim, my Zmanim, whatever you have in the morning you have Alois Shachar, you have many opinions, and then you have Mishayakir, which is we look at Mishayakir, La Halacha, as the Zman when you can start putting on tzitzis and tefillin with a broch. Mitzvah Shem, next week when we learn the Gemara, we'll learn the different shittas and the Rishonim, and it's exciting. But okay. Anyway, bottom line is, this is the shir of Mishayakir. The reason Chazal said to wait for the tefillin is because they wanted when most people are out of bed. Keep this logic in mind, because next week we'll discuss if tzitzis and tefillin is the same shir or not the same shir, if it's the same zman or not the same zman. But anyway, l'halacha, we say that tzitzis and tefillin is the same zman. Mishayakir, it makes it a little easier. Okay, if a person put on tefillin before tzekacham, it became dark. I feel like malav kol alayla muta vein moedin kein aloch l'ma'aseh shem yav l'anichel l'tchil b'layla. If he's already wearing tefillin, he's allowed to keep on wearing it, but we don't tell people aloch l'ma'aseh. We're scared people will start putting it on tefillin by night. Alchen yoyasken elbein l'benatzim v'lo bedam shem yita lo mishmuta l'anichel l'tchil b'layla. Elam kein bebeis hamedrash v'yosh bebeis hamedrash ein lochash yutu, unless it's the beis hamedrash. And we know that Tamid Chacham, they're not going to make a mistake. If he's in Menachem Mendel and it's 9/11 at night, his Mistami is a Talmud Chacham, and he knows what he should do. So even though he's still wearing tefillin, we're not goyzer for him. And if he has nowhere to put it, it's for sure mutter. And we even tell people, he has to tell people, going to see that he's wearing tefillin. He's supposed to tell them they shouldn't be choshet that he's over and takanas chacham. He has to tell them, I'm wearing it because I don't have where to put it and I want to guard it. You don't put it on to guard it. Shvil Sherlo Balaka the Shamar Muta Vemerin Ken Lanichal Hatchila Bishvil Kane. A person wants to get up early and he wants to go on the road. He could put on before he goes out on the road. And then he touches the tefillin, he makes the bracha then. Because he woke up early to go on the road. If he's going on his feet, if he's riding a yosher b'kodem, he's sitting in a wagon. Also, you're not allowed to put it before this man. If a person is going to walk with his feet, Chazal were not scared he's going to fall asleep, and he already woke up, so he can put on the tefillin. He can't make the bracha. When it comes of the Zman Mishayakir, he touches the tefillin and he makes the bracha. If a person came on the road and he has tefillin, and it says kechavim. A person is coming on the road, and now all of a sudden says kechavim. He puts his hand on the tefillin. You should cover it so people shouldn't see he's wearing the tefillin. He can't take it out, take the tefillin, leave it in the shul because it wasn't a safe place in those days. They allowed him to wear it in Shabbos. He puts it there. If he could put it in the house, he shouldn't wear it, should take it off. Sif hey, this is where Sif I want to get to. This is what we're talking about, which is the Zmanim, and this is the discussion we had last week about this halacha. A person forgot, they didn't put on tefillin the whole day. I'm not sure how that's possible. A person forgot and he didn't put on tefillin the whole day. How do you forget and not put on tefillin the whole day? So I think last week I mentioned this. Someone called me up last week, a shaila. His mother called him up after Shabbos. Friday she set the candles, she set the table, and she sat down to read a magazine. Before you know it, her husband comes home and he starts singing Shalom Aleichem. And she realizes, oh, I didn't light the Shabbos candles. What do I do now? So I was like, such a funny question. How does such a thing happen? But it happens, I guess. So this person, he davened Ma'ariv, and now he remembered. He davened Ma'ariv like those days. They used to daven Ma'ariv early Ma'ariv, an hour and a quarter before sunset from Plaga Mincha. And now he remembered. There's an opinion says now I put it on. To him, he made it night. He davened Ma'ariv. Bizman Shchiva. Bekrishma. Tefillah Shabbos. V'im yanich by tefillin, yachze v'yaseh yoyim, v'arehem, beis kula shesoyser zoy azoy. There's two things that are contradiction. Is it night or is it day? You declared that it's night. So how are you putting on tefillin? You're supposed to put on tefillin by day. Avalim hu lo yispalo adayin. If he didn't daven, afilu hatzibur yispalo, even though the whole tzibur was mispalo. Which we know, last year we spent the time learning Hilchas Shabbos, and we know that when the whole Kehillah says Baruch Hu, it becomes Shabbos, for example. It becomes night. It doesn't matter. He's not doing anything that's a contradiction. There is someone that disagrees with this. So we spoke about this last week, but now we weren't learning the Siman. But now we're learning the Siman. The Alter Rebbe doesn't say who is the Yesh Mishachaylik. What does the Yesh Mishachaylik hold? He's Machmir or he's Meikel? The Yesh Mishachaylik. There is an opinion that's Chaylik. So what does he hold? Could be the one way of saying is Yesh Mishachaylik and holds that it doesn't matter if you daven or they daven. Either way, it's already night. It's night. Or you could say Faket, Yesh Mishachaylik is Lakula. Even if you daven, it's still not night. So the Emes is there is a Sefer, and I mentioned it. I mentioned it a lot of times. We talk about it. There was a Rav in Berditchev. His name was Reb David Urtenberg. Reb David Urtenberg was one of the sharpest tools in the shed. Reb David Urtenberg was a moedige Gaon and Talmud Chacham, and he wrote three svarim called Tehillah LeDavid. And the main thing in the Tehillah LeDavid is pilpulim in understanding the shit of the Alter Rebbe and the Shulchan Aruch. Even there, he wasn't a Chabad Chassid, but his goyness is lahafli. So the Tehillah LeDavid says, look, you get in the Alter Rebbe in the bottom writes, look in the footnote Mem Daled. Ein Yere Dei Simen Kuf Tzadik Vav V'chei Mashma Meloshin Shach. So the truth is, in Yere Dei Simen Kuf Tzadik Vav says that what happens, a woman has to make a hefsek taida. She wants to start counting her Shiva Nakim. And the people already said Baruch Hu. So the Ramos says, that's it. It's too late. She can't make a hefsek taida. It's already night. She has to make a hefsek taida to count Shiva Nakim before the sun sets. Now they said Baruch Hu. Even though it's an hour and a quarter before sunset, it's finished. It's over. She can't make hefsek taida. But the yesh mishamatir, the Ramos says, afilu ispalo tzibur. Even the tzibur was mispal. It sounds like if she davened ma'ariv, everyone would agree it's over. If she davened ma'ariv, she declared it's night, forget about it. Now she can't make a hefsek taida. She said it's night. Hefsek taida means that she makes a bedika and she's clean, and then she starts counting Shiva Nagiyim. But she said Baruch Hu, so it's night. So how could she now make a bedika and say, I'm going to start counting Shiva Nagiyim? Forget it, she's toast. But, and that's the emesis, the Shach says that's his father's opinion, to read the Shulchan Aruch this way. But the Shach himself says, Ilule, his father in Kibbud Aveim, the Shach was very chored for the Kibbud Aveim. It's unbelievable. The Shach lived such a difficult life. And the Shach passed away, he was young. And the unbelievable goyness, and if you read, there's the Kahos has a book. I'm not sure the name the book. Something Lost Princess, I think Lost Princess. I mean, I never read the book because to read in English it's a große malacha, but it's I hear it's a beautiful, beautiful book, and it's really based on the life of the Shach. The Shach lived through the Gzeidus of Tach V'Tat. So the Shach says his father read, and the truth is the way his father reads, that's the simple way of reading it. The Shach says, I say, doesn't make sense. What's the difference if the lady said Baruch? Her body works on a clock. The woman's body doesn't know Baruch Hu Shmorch. You need to have Shiva Nakiyim before the sun sets just to make a bedika and have 7 clean days. Who cares that she said Baruch Hu? And he said, and Bechlal, in every mitzvah in the Torah, says the Shach, if a person takes in Pesach early, could he start the Seder early? Could he drink the 4 koises, nita kazayis matzah early just because he took in an early Yom Tov? If he took in an early Yom Tov, could he eat the kazayis in the sukkah before sunset? No. Take Lagabe Suda Shabbos is an exception. It's like a machloikis, and we spoke about it in Salomdis, in Simen Rei Samach Zayin, which we did 3 or 4 weeks ago. But otherwise, all the mitzvahs, just because you took in Shabbos early, Yom Tov early, you said Baruch early, you can't eat the matzah early, you can't eat the morer early, you can't eat the dalakoisis early, you can't eat in the sukkah early. So who cares that the woman said Baruch? Who cares? That's the time of the Shach. Now, it's a little, from Mashmos of the Shach is that he reads it in the Shulchan Aruch. Mutter, if she said Baruch, I feel that the whole kol said Baruch. Even though it's a big doichik in the words of the Ramah, but the Mashmos of Shach is that he thinks that that's a Pshat in the Ramah. I think that's the Diuk HaLoshin, La Nius Daiti, in the footnote Mem Hey, And that's why I like the second shot of the Tilo of David. That the pshat yesh shecholik means that there's a second opinion says that I don't care if the cult said Baruch Hu and also the person himself said Baruch Hu. What's the difference? It's still day. He didn't put on tefillin, chapa por tefillin like the tefillin. Who cares that you said Baruch Hu, everyone said Baruch Hu, the whole world said Baruch Hu, the whole Kehillah said Baruch Hu. And what's of Shabbat Tov Lochish L'Smor Acharoinu? What was out there saying Tov Lochish? He's being makel, he's not being machmir. So, like I said, the pshat I think is the Alter Rebbe is saying, you didn't put on tefillin today. You should be choishish and grab a pair of tefillin and put on the tefillin quick. How could chas v'shalom a yid should go a day without wearing tefillin? And that's why I said last week. That's why if you look in Siman Yud Ches, that when the Alter Rebbe talks about tzitzis, the Alter Rebbe says that it depends. If the Kehillah said Baruch Hu, he could still put on tzitzis and say a bracha. But if he said Baruch Hu, it's over. So why Lagabe Tefillin is different? But based on this pshat, we could say Pashat, because Tefillin is a chiyuv min haTorah. A yid must. How can a yid not put on tefillin? A yid must put on tefillin every day. So therefore, the Alter Rebbe is saying. So even though there's an opinion that says when you say Baruch Hu, it's already night, but who cares? You said Baruch Hu, they said Baruch Hu, everyone said Baruch Hu, but there is an opinion that says not that way, and it's a mitzvah deraisa to wear tefillin. So grab your pair of tefillin and put on the tefillin. But lagabe tzitzis is a different thing. We're going to learn about it next week in the Rashba, the Shagasarya, the Gemara says in Menachos. It's not an obligation to wear tzitzis. If you have a baggage that has arba kamfis, you wear tzitzis. The Gemara says, when things are a little rough in heaven against a person, if he's not wearing tzitzis, he's in hot water. If a person wears tzitzis, there's a special protection. Okay, but it's not the same thing like tefillin. Tefillin is a kshartam lo yisayidech. It's a mitzvah say every day. But tzitzis is not that way. So therefore, that's why I think that Lagabe tefillin, the Alter Rebbe says, I don't care. You said Baruch Hu, they said Baruch Hu, everyone said Baruch Hu. But it's a mitzvah say that I said, grab that tefillin and put on the tefillin. Lagabe tzitzis, look, if you already said Baruch Hu, night for you. What are you going to put on now? You're going to put on tzitzis and make a bracha? What are you making jokes over here? We're choishish for the shittas rishonim that Laila loves man tefillin, and Yom is man tefillin, and not Laila. So you said Baruch, it's night. What are you going to put on tefillin and make a bracha? That's the Alanius Daiti. I think this pshat is kafta v'ferech. I like this pshat. If you don't like this pshat, learn your own pshat. Bottom, let's just to summarize. So we just did now the zman of tzitzis, and we did the zman of tefillin. Next week we're learning the Gemara. The bottom line is we paskin that the beginning zman of tzitzis and tefillin is the same thing. In the morning the zman of tzitzis and tefillin is mishayakir. Mishayakir is chaverik berichuv dal damas. Next week when we learn the Gemara, we're going to learn several opinions in the Mishnah, several opinions in the Gemara, and several opinions in the Rishonim and the Gishmak Elam. This we'll get to it next week in Mitzvah Shem. But Lepol, the halach is that the beginning zman of tzitzis atfilm is Meshayakir is Chaveda Berichuk Dal Adamas. As I said at the beginning of the Shir, it's the Indian of Zmanim, we're doing now Zmanim. What's so important, the Zmanim? Because a Yid has to bring Kedusha into every Mokum in this world and every Zman. Why? Because this world, Olam Haza, is time plus space equals Olam Haza. If you take away one of these two, you don't have Olam Haza. This world is finite. What characterizes this world as being finite? Zman plus Mokum equals Olam Haza. Yid has to bring Kedusha to every Mokum. If you end up in a certain place, it's not for no reason. It's for a reason. Like the story of the Baal Shem Tov, we sent his Talmud, Reb Chaim Rappaport, It's funny because the other day I went to get a pair of pants. So on right, on Coney Island. So the owner tells me his name is Rappaport. I said, "Are you a descendant of the famous Reb Chaim Rappaport?" So he said, "Yeah, yes, I'm Ben Achaben." I said, "You know the story, the famous story, Lubavitch, everyone calls the story, Lakutta Deburim, the first story of Reb Chaim Rappaport." No, he didn't. I made a copy of it and I gave it to him. The story of Reb Chaim Rappaport is an unbelievable story. It's a long story, but the bottom line is that the Baal Shem Tov said that he needed to be in that malkim to drink the water and make shahakol, because that well of fresh water was waiting from Sheishis Yimei Bereshis that Agid is going to come there and drink the water and make a bracha shahakol. And that was part of a shlichus. And the other part of the shlichus was exciting story, a whole thing about Aliyas Anashama. But that was a side point that the Baal Shem Tov said that creek, no one ever drank that water and made a bracha shahakol, and that's why you needed to be in that place. Sometimes we get lost. We're here, we're there, we travel. We think you're there to make a bracha shahakol. You're there to bring kedushin to that malkim, and Ayid has to bring also kedushin to every zman. And that's why we're so much koching in the sugi of zmanim. What's alois shachar and what's tzeis hakechavim and what's sunrise and what's sunset and what's the beginning zman for tzitzis and tefillin and what's the beginning zman for krishma and what's the beginning zman for tefillah and what's the end zman for all this. The zmanim of Shabbos, the zmanim of every mitzvah has a zman, because that brings the kedusha into that zman, and that's the most critical thing is to bring the kedusha into every makom, into every zman. But zman is even more than makom. Okay, l'chaim. Let me hear, Eli. We got this.
9.
We're not there yet.
9.
9. Okay.
They ask the Israeli guy who finished the army,
Yeah.
what do you learn from the army?
Yeah.
So he said, Ochel bazman, Sheina bazman, Chofesh bazman.
Very nice. Everything has a zman. Very nice. That's what I have to be a chayal. Okay. Yeah. That's takazoi. In Lubavitch, there was an unbelievable diuk. The Talmidei Yeshiva we're now in Elul. The beginning, the Elul, the Yudim Elul, the Siyas Tabchatim Lubavitch, was that diuk about Shmiras Hasdorim. Because now the yeshivas, the point was that the Talmud Chacham is learning, Talmud Yeshiva is learning, but that there should be Shmiras Hazmanim of the Limudei Yeshiva. Okay, so l'chaim, that we should be able to bring kedusha into every makom, and we should be able to bring kedusha into every zman.
Amen.
Now is the zman of Chodesh Elul. You got that?
Rabbi, there's that.
Okay, this is not Congress. We'll stop the filibuster, but
Never stop the filibuster.
Plus 5,
the
15.
geschmack word about Elul that I wanted to share.
Minute plus 7.
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, Rabbi Sem, we're starting
Correct.
the Maimer, Moire de Maimer. Last year we learned to get it at Shuv of Nal Rebbe, and the Mitzvah Shem tomorrow, I'd like if we could learn. Tzemach Tzedek has a Maimer, Mitzvah's Vidu Tshuva. There's 4 oises. If we do 1 ois every Thursday night, we could have it done before Yom Kippur, Mitzvah Shem. Then I'll share the word that I wanted to say about Elul. Okay, seid gesund. Tonight is special minion, so it should be Aliyas and Neshama for Yankel's father.
Rabbi,
Enjoy vacation, Rabbi.
Good.
Mother, not brother.
A guten
All right, well, you left. Well,